It's still early in the 2020 Wisconsin bow hunting season, and Dale and I are enjoying some great action already. Dale continues his quest for the 5.5-year-old buck he calls Mr. Hook. Based on trail camera footage, we know that Mr. Hook and Tallbrow, a 4.5-year-old buck, consider this 50-acre parcel to be home. Dale has several hunts under his belt already this year, so let's join him on a recent hunt from this soybean food plot nestled on a ridgetop in west central Wisconsin. I think you'll find the action to be amazing. Old Tallbrow, a 4.5-year-old buck with very interesting brow tines, makes an appearance this evening. This is a big-bodied deer with a wide rack. Dale lets him pass, as he has his mind set on Mr. Hook. Tallbrow is a good-looking deer. You may be asking yourself, how does he hunt these whitetails day in and day out without getting busted? In our last video, we alluded to a scent control recipe that has proven to be effective. It really comes down to a few key details. Let's take a break from the action to discuss Dale's formula for scent control and going undetected in the stand. Dale, do you want to talk a little bit about what you do to prepare for going to the stand? Do you use scents? Do you use cover-up sprays? What's your procedure of going out into the stand and just making sure those deer don't smell you?
I'd like to think I'm like everyone else that puts their clothes, scent-free clothes, in a tote, keeps it contained in the garage, scent-free. I use a spray on my boots and clothes. Beginning of the year, you hang them out, but every time I go up, I make sure the bottom of my boots, the rubber part, the bottom and the sides are sprayed down really good. Anytime I climb the tree stand, I have gloves on. Make sure I'm not leaving scent where a deer could come up and smell. As curious as they are, if you leave any scent behind, they know what that is. Entering the field and exiting the field, I'm fortunate enough on private land here. Before I used the ATV, now I have a UTV. Has a bigger profile, so it's a little more of a challenge concealing that. And I've done this the last 12 years using my ATV to leave the field. Because I think everyone that's hunted has experienced that, whether you're walking to your stand in the morning or leaving at night. The screaming deer running for their life, snorting and stomping down the valley, up the next hill, and when they see the presence of man, or smell you and see you, it's the bad combination. So by using that UTV or ATV, I can leave the field, and that motor kind of calms them down.
So there's like a bunch of soaps and stuff you can wash. You can wash your clothes and do all that. Do you get into all that, or do you just essentially just make sure your clothes are hung up outside, or kind of tell me about that a little bit? Do you get into all that stuff? Or?
I just use like a scent-free detergent.
Yeah.
Because like I had blood on my camouflage, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But you got to get it out. So you use some type of soap, and they sell that detergent that's scent-free. So that's all I use, is just to clean it up that way.
Yeah, and then before you go out, you spray down a little bit on your boots and stuff with scent killer.
Every time.
So you do the spray and the scent-free wash and all that. Just kind of, I think that's well known to do. But what else is it that you do to make sure those deer do not detect you on the stand?
The number one thing is scent control in the tree. You can have all of your scent-free clothes on, whether it has the carbon stuff if you like that, or just good clean clothes that are sprayed down. The best camouflage in the world, but it isn't going to do you any good if that deer is downwind of you and smells you, which will happen if you don't do the right things. I know there's other products out there that you can buy to use, ozonics, things like that. I don't use them. I've never experienced them.
No, I haven't.
I've only heard about them. You see the advertisements, but I think it was Judd Cooney, longtime deer hunter. I read one article about him years ago. I think he used to use skunk scent. And me and my uncle talked about, we heard about it, and we thought about what could we use to mask our scent, or to even dilute it into a scent. And so that's what we've done. We've probably done that for 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
As you see in one of the videos, I'm carrying a coffee container. Unfortunately, I like to bury mine in. Well, then the rodents, or whether it be possums, raccoons, they like to get in. They like that smell, and so they'll break the lids. And who knows, bears? I don't know what else. But
I've tried using them by my stands, and the containers disappear. There's certain animals that, for some reason, like that skunk scent, or don't like it. Whatever it is, they get after it. But yeah, so you carry it in on a container. You just crack the lid. There's just a very little bit in that container, and it's just enough to kind of mask any human scent that might be around. And then you don't carry it out with you every time, do you? Or
you just open it up at the base of your tree, leave the lid right there, use gloves, take it off, set it there. And I've even gone to as far as now, I used to use the Tinks product, number 10 skunk scent.
Tinks, yeah.
And it was the best, most powerful skunk scent you could ever imagine. Unfortunately, I emailed them this year because I couldn't find their product. And I emailed them this year and got a reply, they're no longer going to make that.
Oh, really?
So I had to go to other brands, and unfortunately, Tinks have set the bar very high for quality. Okay. And I finally found something that is adequate. The first year we used it, we went with pure trapping skunk essence, skunk oil. It was $30 an ounce.
Oh, wow.
Well, obviously that's not consumer friendly to use it at that, but if you're only, now you can carry this stuff with you, if you want to go with something super strong like that, and you have 1 or 2 stands that you're hunting, sometimes cost isn't a problem, when it comes time to not educating deer. So, but when I have 5-6 stands that I'm hunting, I like to have them at each stand because I like to rotate stands, you know, and keep pressure off them and things like that. But I did find one that we can share that information later. The brand of it, it seems it's got good strength to it. But
well, there you.
I've got to cut you off here. I even go as far as Tinks. They do sell them orange bottles with a little wick in there you can pull out,
Oh yeah.
and you can put the cap back on there. Now, granted, your clothes are going to smell like a skunk even a little bit, just from the vapors and fumes that come off.
Yeah.
But I do put skunk scent in that this year. I pull it out. I find a little twig that's hanging there, and I slide it on there just for that extra protection. Because with them deer, it's the deer that you don't see that you're educating. Because one year we were filming a few years ago, well, more than a few, probably 8 years ago, with my friend. I just happened to be looking behind us, and gosh, it had been longer than that, maybe 10 years ago. Just before I started using skunk scent, I seen a 2.5-year-old buck behind us, 50 yards dead downwind of us, and I could see the eyeball, half the rack, but he was just standing there, and I already knew what he was going to do. He wasn't going to snort and stomp away. He had us pegged in the tree, and I told my friend Jamie, I said, look back, I said, you're going to see an eye, an ear, and a horn. Well, he saw him. And I told Jamie, I said, now you watch, that deer is just going to leave. He knows we're here. He's not going to snort and stomp and do all that and carry on. He's just going to sneak off, but he knows that area, he knows it's danger. And now, granted, some may get, you know, wild and snort and stomp, but I was correct on his reaction. He just slithered away, but knowing that there was danger there.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the secret. Use a really good cover-up scent. Dale uses skunk scent. I now use skunk scent. I've seen it work. It's proven. And if you guys are having trouble getting busted in the tree because the deer are picking up your scent, I think you should try skunk scent. It works. Dale's proof here. And I think it's going to be a great year, and I think we'll probably harvest a few deer this year, don't you think, Dale?
I think there's an excellent chance of that.
Yeah, so thanks for watching and enjoy the footage.
Dale had an amazing hunt as he was able to witness a ton of deer activity. This bean field continues to be the gathering area for these fall whitetails. No signs of Mr. Hook this evening, but we're just getting started with what appears to be the makings of a great bow hunting season. The coming weeks will tell the rest of the story, but we are almost certain that deer will be harvested. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something. Thanks for watching.